Today on The Express, we have your top 6 ways to make the most of spring break in Metro Vancouver. On today's show,
I like because we get to draw our own thing.
Cartooning for kids at Coquitlam's Plaza des Arts.
They just come up with everything. I don't have to guide them at all.
The wonders of wacky weather at Science World.
Today in White Rock, we have a high of 8 degrees Celsius.
The Space Center's Color of Fire.
Kids love this show. It's a great one to explain how stars are different.
Are you happy that it's spring break? Yeah! And later, it's a carnival in Richmond. Carnival! Yeah! See that and more local expression. Welcome to The Express. I'm Johanna Ward at Plaza des Arts in Coquitlam. Today's show is full of ideas for making the most of spring break. Cartoon camp, an indoor amusement park, badminton, and up first, it's Weather Forecasting 101. Watch out, Mark Madriga. It seems the kids at Science World are after your job. While most people hope for clear skies and warm weather during spring break, Science World has wacky weather and natural disasters as part of their special spring break programming.
Well, we have a wild, windy photo booth. Kids will be able to dress up in ponchos and rain hats with an umbrella that's kind of pushed backwards and inside out. And that'll really be able to help them tie into some of the content that we're going to bring in.
I think it's really important to learn the power of the earth and all that kind of stuff. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was great. Did you like it, Rachel?
I want to.
She liked it too.
There's also a chance for kids to learn that broadcasting the weather isn't as easy as it looks.
Today in White Rock, we have a high of 8 degrees Celsius.
Well, I'd never really had an experience with a green screen before. I don't know, it was kind of weird having a set background behind me, not seeing it.
Okay, try to push mine. Mine will never break.
Wacky weather and natural disasters has been in the works for more than 6 months, and it's busier than expected given the world's recent seismic and weather-related events.
It's not to kind of sensationalize what's been happening in the world, but it's more to just kind of educate and do it in a really fun and exciting way.
One of the most hands-on parts of the program is the tsunami and earthquake tables.
So we've partnered with Earth and Ocean Sciences Department at UBC, as well as the Pacific Museum of the Earth. They've been wonderful. They've lent us 2 giant tubs. They're great wave tubs, and so we've been talking about how tsunamis occur. We've been building little Lego blocks and then kind of working with the tsunami there. We also have borrowed 2 shake tables, so they've got some sand and some gravel in them. And when kids build the little structures, then they can learn a little bit about liquefaction.
And for these kids, the lessons of Japan are starting to sink in.
It was a big earthquake that caused a big tsunami that destroyed everything.
Are we in an earthquake zone?
No,
Are you sure?
a little bit.
I think it's the opportunity for them to experiment and to play. I also think that it's a connection that they can make with their parents as they're learning this stuff. So it's not just something in the classroom that they have to bring home. They can play and experiment here with mom and dad right beside them, and then later on they can talk about it at home.
I'm Erin Shaw in Vancouver for The Express. Meteorologists will be on hand throughout the week to teach the kids more about the science of prediction, which isn't always that easy here in Metro Vancouver. Now, today's show is all about spring break ideas for the kids, and we're moving from science to art, because here at Plaza des Arts in Coquitlam, it's all about the art of imagination.
So you draw with pencil. We trace over everything that we want to keep with ink.
Tell me what the person's called that does the inking.
The inker.
What's the person called that does the penciling?
The penciler.
Can you tell me one thing that you've learned today in the cartooning and comics class?
Sharpies are awesome.
I've always loved comics and drawing, so for me, it's just to be able to draw and make stuff up every day like that is a lot of fun. And then to see the ideas coming out of them is just hugely inspirational.
I like because we get to draw our own thing when we're doing our cartoons.
Sometimes you even end up with toothbrushes. You dip in ink and you're splattering ink. Inking can get really complicated. Most haven't tried any of this stuff before, but they all come with some kind of drawing skill. So I'm just trying to get them to improve their drawing and make it a little more three-dimensional.
I learned that if you want to draw a character really good, don't draw like the faces like always straight up. It's better with the, like if you turn around the character up or down, sideways.
I'm never trying to tell them what to draw, like what kind of content or anything, so that's all them. And they just come up with everything. So, you know, I don't have to guide them at all.
What's the story behind this?
Mad Monkey wants to blow everything in the world up.
Mad Monkey has got a name too?
Yeah.
That's good, yeah. This is called Fiber Fun, and we explore all different kinds of fiber art, starting out with spinning and dyeing. This is an acid dye, and we need a bit of vinegar to help it stay and be permanent into the wool.
So Josephine, how did your wool go from this to that?
First we tease it and then we go to the spinning wheel.
Let the spin go into it.
So have you ever worked with fiber like this before?
No.
What do you think of it?
Something this thin can turn into like clothes and fabric.
This facility is unique in the Lower Mainland. It's the only place that teaches this to children.
What do you think? There's so many steps involved in all of this. Do you like that?
Yeah, because even though it just turns out to be like this, it's still really cool.
I find that kids are always interested in it. I don't think I've ever had a child that came in here who wasn't totally taken with it.
And I like things that take long. It feels more rewarding when they're finished.
He's a smart kid. Later, we'll join a street beat hip-hop class with the little ones, the 5-year-olds, here at Place des Arts. But how about something educational and even explosive to do over spring break? At the Space Center, they aim to blow your mind, or at least someone else's.
This is a really neat experiment to show you what a burn test would look like.
Cam Cronin with the Space Center has some explosive activities for kids to do this spring break, and he tested them out on me, starting with the color of fire.
Kids love this show. It's a great one to explain how stars are different. Now, you look up in the night sky, you might see a star that is red or orange. You might even see a blue star, and that has to do with a couple of different things. This is as close as we get to like Harry Potter as we do here at the Space Center. So I've mixed in a couple of special materials into this.
Secret material.
Secret materials, and we're going to dim the lights and we'll see what we get. 3, 2, 1, and... No, do you want to blow something else up?
I would.
Yeah?
I'm a little pyro.
Did you ever play with Barbie?
Yes. I actually was bad and cut her hair.
Well, you know what? I have something for you to try with that. All right? So why don't we go down and see what we can do with Barbie?
Perfect.
So, I mentioned Barbie, right? So we do have Barbie here.
Can we talk about why I'm wearing this headband first?
Oh, right, the headbands. Yeah, I always forget that I have these on. These are something that the kids can actually make during spring break. So it's a craft, and it's a solar system headband. So it makes you the center of the universe, which we knew all along. We also have Barbie here, who I did promise that we'd blow her up, but not in the way that you might think. A lot of people think that when you go into space, you explode. It's sort of a misconception about space. So I want you to flip that switch for me. Go ahead and give it a click. And we're removing the air from around the outside of Barbie, and that means any air that's inside Barbie's body is going to try to get out. Now, how's it going to get out? Well, any hole that happens to be there is going to be a venue for this to come out.
I fear for you, Barbie. Oh, she's foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, and there's something that, yeah, that's never a good sign.
No.
Never a good sign. Now, thinking about going into space, do you want to launch a rocket?
I've never launched a rocket before.
Let's go and do that. It's something else the kids can do on spring break.
3, 2, 1, go! If you bring your own pop bottle to the Space Center, you'll be able to build one of these.
We're talking some of these rockets will go 10, 15 meters into the air. So a really neat way of explaining not only the laws of motion, but also aerodynamics, like what makes a good rocket, what gives us some stability.
The Space Center will also launch a new program called Questioning the Answers, where scientists set the record straight about myths in space. An opportunity to make this year's spring break experience out of this world. In Vancouver, I'm Melanie Pineda for The Express.
Oh, poor Barbie. If you want to find out more about the Space Center spring break programs, you can go to their website. They're also holding a special event on April 9th featuring music, theater, and rockets in honor of the 50th anniversary of the first person in space. You're watching The Express, and we have more spring break fun up next. After the break, a carnival inside the mall.
Hi, buddy.
Forensics fun at the Police Museum.
It's pretty gross, but kind of interesting.
You're watching local TV on The Express.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by...
The Express is brought to you in part by Plum, fashion supplier to host Johanna Ward.